présence ou après vivant dans l'esprit nous jusqu'à ce que nous encore.
I want you to know your presence will stay alive in our mind, in our church, in our community until we see you again.
It has been a privilege to be here again.
Une autre fois encore, c'est un privilège que nous gagnons pour nous capables.
We realize that God is in control of all things.
Nous réaliser vraiment bon Dieu en contrôle de toute bagaille.
And in His mercy and His grace, He has chosen to bring our churches together.
Et la miséricorde et la grâce, il choisit pour mener de l'église à reconnecter ensemble.
We pray that God blesses Damé Marie Church.
Nous prions façon que bon Dieu ait des bénédictions sur l'église Damé Marie.
We'll pray for the things that we are working on together.
N'a prié pour bagaille que n'a travaillé sur ensemble.
And we believe, as God wills, we will return again.
Et nous croyons comme volonté bon Dieu, n'a retourner encore.
Until that time, may God watch over both of us.
Jusqu'à ce que ça va arriver pour nous retourner encore, nous souhaitons que bon Dieu continue à suivre sur chacun de nous-mêmes.
My hopes and prayers are with the people there. I see a lot of opportunity and I see a lot of hope. I envy the spirit that the people have there. Being born into such a situation that would seem hopeless probably to people here, I just think that the people there are very resilient and strong and they're amazing people.
Ryan and Nicole dressed exactly the same today.
I learned that I'm actually not as much of a social butterfly as I thought I was. It was actually a big barrier for me was just to kind of reach out my hand to somebody and say, hi, how you doing? I was kind of intimidated by the people. I didn't think it was going to be so hard to be so open with them, and I think part of that was the language. I kind of regret not learning a little bit more than what I did know.
What surprised me was how well this trip went given the lack of preparation. Even as we were discussing as a team how the week had gone and if the preparation had worked for the rest of the team, I found out there that of all of the meetings they'd had ahead of time, most of the people missed them. In our lack of preparation, God did some really powerful things.
We made it, and we did it in record time, and no problems. And God was with us, all the way. He got us here without any problems. So we're thankful for that.
One thing I learned about myself is I'm not as tough as I thought I was. I've been to a lot of places, I've done a lot of camping and outdoor experiences, but I wasn't really expecting that I was going to be sleeping outside a couple of nights on a cot. And even though I didn't mind it so much, there was a lot of things that challenged me, I guess I would say. I'm not as tough as I thought I was, having to see the way these people live.
In preparing myself, I kind of went into it trying to have no expectations. There's so many goals that you try to reach. In the end, it's not about the goals and the physical things that you accomplish. It's about everything else. It's about the relationship and everything.
It's been wonderful to watch my daughter be able to become her own person and find herself within her walk and discover her passion and the love that she has for fellow Christians. It's been very gratifying as a father to see that.
On the waters of the ocean of love, unaware of who we really are. The mystery of the deep has been hidden in our hearts as we journey on our way unto the shore.
Coming back here, away from Port-au-Prince, is like a great relief because when you're in the center of Port-au-Prince, you see so much poverty. The place is dirty, the trash and everything else. But out here, sitting here looking at this is like being in paradise. So this trip to Damé Marie is kind of rejuvenating to me, comparing to the one that I took last year, 8 months after the earthquake.
And we don't realize that we wouldn't exist were it not Come on, Emmanuel, you can do it. Yeah. But we're making it all on our own, without any help from above. And we think of ourselves as separate beings.
Oh, well, as long as God gives me the strength, brother, I hope to be back.
This is all we can see.
Vastness, beauty, kind of makes me wonder about heaven. And thinking of how he can move the mountains, I don't really see these being moved anytime soon. That's what I'm thinking about.
My greatest goal would have been to be there as a missionary. I mean, I love that country. I don't know how else I can communicate that. I love being there. I have a family that's supportive. I got a church that's supportive, and as many folks as I can get interested there to have a part in the, with the Haitians.
Yeah, J Fuji, already know.
They are people just like we are, living a different life, but they still love God as much as we do. Pastor made a good point while we were there, is that maybe sometimes Haitians need to send missionaries to America. Their walk with God on so many levels seems so much deeper and so much real than ours. Despite the circumstances they live in that we would pity them for, they're so content and they have such joy in everyday life and what they do, from what we could tell while we were there.
I think it's important to understand RMI's goals and mission. They've been doing it for a very, very long time. So everything that they do is for a reason. If you follow their lead, your church and the church that you sponsor there in Haiti can really work together. It's not about what you can feed to the church in Haiti and, we sponsor this church and this is what they've done with what we've provided to them. It's really about a relationship, a give and take relationship that can go on for years and really be a beautiful, beautiful thing.
I don't think I have to ask anybody to come back a second time. Once they get there and they really see that the Spirit of God's moving, they see the love and the concern for their brothers and sisters in Christ there for them, I don't have to push them to come back.
The only places where I saw a really healthy society in that country were in the church. And it reminded me of something that's been true since the very beginning of the church, that the only thing in the world that really makes lasting change is Christ. And the only thing that can really turn around a devastated country is God working in it. My hope for Haiti in the future doesn't really rest a lot on America's ability to help it or any other country's ability to help it. I think the only way that that country is going to grow and to flourish and to find prosperity or just general health or whatever, the only way that's going to happen in that country is through his church.
There was a RMI staffer on our trip, I call him Juby, his name's Bail, that's why I call him Juby, because I can't pronounce his name, but just speaking with him, because he spoke English, so I got to speak with him, just trying to figure out how the best way to help the Haitian people help themselves, and his resounding answer was education. Just education, and they don't need t-shirts, they don't need rice and all that stuff. That stuff they can provide for themselves, but if they're educated, they can provide it smarter and in more abundance for the rest of the nation.
It's never as bad as you imagine. Your worst case scenario is never likely to come true. Even though the culture is so different, it's so easy to be comfortable there. Even though things are so much different, they have so much less, everything's just run completely different. Like, you wake up extremely early, you go to bed very early. It still feels like home there. Like, you're so comfortable. You don't want to leave.
You might see on TV what it's like over there and you're just like, oh, okay, I want to help out, but you might never get involved. I say get involved. That's the most important thing. Over in Haiti, they really need education. Most of the kids don't have it unless it's provided by missionaries or humanitarian works. So, as we know in America, we think our education system is bad. No, every kid can go to school. Whether it's public or private is very different, but every kid is entitled to an education here. Over there, an education is just 1 in a million. It's an amazing thing for them.
here and he wants to stay. Just shake the devil off and God will take him away.
This goes under the category of I just can't explain it.
I call this.
I call this.
Awkward giggling.